Hey guys, it's Addison. So this is my third time trying to make this video, and so this is a response to Chris's "It's okay and we're here for you" video. And in that video she's talking about where she was 10 years ago, and giving advice to people who may have been in a similar situation. And that's kind of what I want to do with this video, but I have to do some backstory first. So 10 years ago I was in 4th grade. And when I was really little I didn't really have a whole lot of friends. Like, I had friends, but I didn't really feel like they were friends I should have had. Like, they felt a lot like pity friends to me, and I wasn't very happy with that. I hung out with them because I would much rather have been antisocial in a group of people than antisocial by myself. And I know that doesn't make a lot of sense to everyone, but it makes sense to me, so that's what I did. And because I never really had any friends, when I got to middle school, I fell in with some people I shouldn't have fallen in with, basically. And I know I talked about it before, but it was during this time that I was getting pretty regularly physically and emotionally abused. But I think the reason I want to talk so much about this time in my life is because I think that it's extremely important as trans people that we talk about this kind of stuff that happens, because abuse can happen to anyone, but when a trans person gets abused before transition, a lot of people will immediately see that correlation and turn it into causation in their own minds. And this is something that I've had happen. When I came out to my mom, both times she cited prior abuse as to why I am the way that I am. And that's not the way the world works. And I think if we were to flood the airwaves with our own identities and our own traumas and show the world that we are as varied as any other large group of people, that it would help our cause. So, because I think the problem with the queer community in general, that's not something that's easily fixed, is that people tend to lump us together because we're queer, and we tend to lump together because we're queer. I think that's important, but I also think it gives people the chance to kind of say, oh, they're all the same, or oh, they were all abused, so that's why they're like this, you know, and stuff like that. And it's really stupid, and I know that it's not really something that's going to be easily fixed, but I feel like telling at least my part of the story can maybe help give people a better idea of how varied we are. So, as I said, I was being abused. I was getting the shit kicked out of me on a regular basis, and it's interesting, and I always wonder what would have happened if I had just maintained my kind of loner self-identity in middle school, because I wasn't being beaten up by boys. I was being beaten up by my friends, and they were all pretty butch girls. I was also probably the most feminine of them all, but my femininity was inherently different from their femininity. Their femininity was kind of the classic idea of femininity, and that's what they were rebelling against, because puberty was coming up and they needed to rebel for a wide variety of reasons. And my femininity was kind of more flamboyantly gay. I liked sparkles and glitter and musicals and you know, nice sweaters and things like that. I was very much like a metro gay male, but I still dressed in the hoodie, baggy jeans, because that's what my friends were doing. They would have beaten me up if I didn't, and I was hiding my body at this time. My own personal style would have been a lot more me, and whatever hiding of my body I would have done during that time, which I'm sure I would have, I would have been more easily able to recognize it as an inherent disagreement with my body than I don't like this body because it's getting abused on a regular basis and it can't defend itself. Because that's what I thought during the time. I thought that I hated my body because I was getting abused and because I was constantly bruised up and I had no muscles, so I couldn't defend myself against these people, and so that's why I thought I hated myself and my body. But you know, if I hadn't have ended up in that situation where I was surrounded by these alternative feminine women who grew up and had babies and that kind of stuff, but during that time we were all kind of rebelling. Would I have come out earlier? And that's kind of like the thing that keeps turning in my head, because of the way that middle school situation ended up, the way that I came out of that situation not even knowing my favorite color. I had just been completely Stockholmed by these people. Would I have been able to come out earlier? Because I mean, being surrounded by these women, not knowing who I was, what my identity was, or anything, when I came out of it, I had to start the process over again. There was a lot of stuff during that time that I blocked out. Not so much that I can't remember it now, but I just willingly forgotten it for a long time. Had I not done that, would I have been able to reckon with them earlier? Would I have been able to come out earlier? Would I have been able to not hide myself and not play this role that I did for so many years? This overly feminine, soft, sweet person that I was for a long time, that I am no longer. Still the same person, but I've given up on trying to be the girl next door, and I've turned into the boy next door instead, which is completely fine. I wanna put it out there, and I also want to put this out there, is that, you know, if you are in a situation like I was in, if you do think that there's something else going on that you need to deal with, you know, I always try and say this to people, but I don't think people actually believe me. Message me. I'm always on my computer. Literally. I get out of class, I wake up in the morning, I check my email, I do my daily shit, like my Google Reader. I go to class, I come back, get on my computer, check my email again. Like, it's a constant cycle of the internet. And I'm always on it, I'm always connected, I'm always talking to somebody. So even if you've never messaged me before, if you aren't even subscribed to my channel, if you need someone to talk to, if you need some resources on abuse, if you need resources on trans stuff and you just don't know exactly where to look yet, you know, anything, seriously, message me. I'll get back to you. Like, seriously, like, people are shocked at how quickly I get back to them. It's kind of weird. I'm kind of a freak. But that's okay. So, this is my video. Hope it's not too long. I might have to edit it, and that's gonna suck, but, I hope that it was a good one. I hope I got some gears turning. I hope I get some messages from people. Well, I mean, I don't hope to get messages from people, considering I was talking about abuse, but, you know, I hope people that need to message someone, you know, message me, because I feel like I can help people. Ramble, ramble, ramble. I will talk to you guys later.